Hey everyone, so today is the first tag and I thought this was a really fun tag I saw going around, so I wanted to of course go ahead and do it. I have the questions written down here and I'll have them in the below box if you want to go ahead and do this video as well. I would love to see it. You can send it to me as a video response, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in with the questions. Alright, so the first question is, what was your first tweet? And I do not know. I guess I probably should have went back and looked for my first tweet. I'll insert it right here, but I really don't use Twitter very often. But if you want to follow me, my Twitter handle is just Megan Hearts M. Megan Hearts Makeup was too long to put on Twitter, so it's just Megan Hearts M. The next question is my first YouTube video, and I have, again, kind of a silly answer on this one because it's kind of like a half answer. My first YouTube account actually was Megan Loves Makeup, and I get a lot of questions about this because I have people ask me, how did you come up with Megan Hearts Makeup? Like, what does hearts really mean? And pretty much Megan Loves Makeup was my first YouTube account, and I only had it for maybe a month and a half, and then I closed it down because people found it and I decided to quit and all this stuff, and then I came back a month later and then started Megan Hearts Makeup. And so I was trying to think of another word that could kind of fit in because obviously I couldn't make Megan Loves Makeup again, so I made Megan Hearts Makeup. But my first video on Megan Hearts Makeup is actually a video of me explaining my whole channel deletion and all that kind of stuff, and I talk about how my channel was deleted and I'm proof that I'm Megan Loves Makeup. It's really silly. Honestly, that video is slightly embarrassing, but I'm not going to take it down because it's really funny. The third question is, what's the first person I subscribed to? Again, I don't remember, but I think it was either All That Glitters 21 or Juicy Star 07. It was one of those two or both at the same time. The next question is, do I still talk to my first love? And I do. I haven't talked to him recently, within the past month or so, but we talk on occasion, we're good, whatever. The next question is first car. My first car is still the car that I drive right now, so it's not like I have another car. But my first car I actually bought with my earnings that I made from YouTube. So that was something really just a proud moment for me, I guess, that I was able to pay for my own car. And especially, by doing something that I love and something that I'm really passionate about, and it's a black GOK. So that is my first car. The next question is, the first person to text me today was actually my little sister Mia. She was telling me to wake up, which I don't know why she didn't just come yell wake up, but she's all into texting. She's 11 and she has a phone, which is really funny, and she texts me emojis and all this stuff all the time. She FaceTimes me all the time. She just loves using her iPhone. So she was texting me over and over and over again, because we actually went and saw my little cousins that were born, and we went to the hospital to see them. So yeah, they're very cute. They're twins. And so Mia was like, let's go, Megan, let's go. And she was all excited to go. So she was the first person to text me this morning. The next question is the first person I thought of today, and definitely not going to answer that question. The next question is first grade teacher, and my first grade teacher was Miss Patronella, and I remember her as being just the most lovable lady. She was so nice, always smiling. She had a really cute accent, and I remember even from first grade, I don't know, maybe I stood out in some way or something, but I remember her telling me, she was you know, Megan, really follow your dreams, do what you want to do, really just go for it. And I remember her just telling me that, and I guess I didn't think much of it then. I was in first grade, but now, I look back and I think about that, and I think, being a teacher and encouraging kids to do what they love and to really not, think anything is impossible, it's amazing. It honestly is. And I think back of her just encouraging me and not knowing, obviously, that I would ever do anything cool, but, I think my whole YouTube thing is really cool, and so I definitely credit her to telling me to just kind of do my own thing and, go for my dreams. So that was my first grade teacher. The next question is first airplane ride. My first airplane ride, I do not remember, but I remember my little sister's first plane ride. She actually threw up on the airplane, which today is that's my worst fear of getting on an airplane. If someone I can hear someone throw up or smell it, I hate that because it's such a small space. It just grosses me out. But anyways, my little sister did throw up. She was she was a baby, she was a toddler, and so she threw up, and so my dad had to take his shirt off on the airplane to clean it up, and so he was shirtless the rest of the airplane ride. And I remember everyone looking at him getting off of the plane why do you not have a shirt on, dude? And then once we got our luggage and stuff, obviously he put a shirt on, but I remember on the plane he just acted quickly and just had to take his shirt off and clean it up, and it was it was a funny moment, I guess. Probably not for my parents, but for me, being a little kid, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. The next question is, your first best friend, and do you still talk? And yes, we do. My first best friend is definitely just someone that knows me. You know, they've known me forever. They know the real me. They know, I mean, whenever I'm having trouble with something, I go to her and she gets me, and like, she gives me the best advice no matter what. She gives me real advice. She's not afraid to tell me what she really thinks, and I think that's great, and I think that's what you really need in a best friend. First sleepover. My first sleepover was with my friend Kaylee, and I remember that we would have sleepovers like pretty much every single weekend when I was like 7, 8, 9, like for forever, whatever. And I don't remember my very first sleepover with her, but I remember we would have sleepovers and we would always watch a bunch of movies, and we make these big forts like in her living room. We would like take blankets and we would like drape them over the couches and make like all these like elaborate forts, and we would always say we were gonna sleep in them, and then we would get too scared and we end up just sleeping in her room. But I also remember in the mornings, her mom would always make us pancakes, and I remember going up, like every time, like her sisters would wake up and we'd all go downstairs and we'd have like just like pancakes. And for some reason, my parents never made pancakes in the morning. It just wasn't something my family did. So I remember like whenever I was gonna sleep over at her house, I knew in the morning we would get pancakes and chocolate chip pancakes. And my little sister was actually she was friends with her little sister, so she would come and just be like a big fun sleepover. And I remember we would do that like pretty much every weekend. We didn't go to the same school, so it was always like really exciting when we get to sleep over on the weekends. So that was my first sleepover. And I think I was pretty good with sleepovers. I never really had like a big like dramatic sleepover when I like wanted to go home or anything, but I know my younger sister, she would always call home at like 2, 3 in the morning. She'd be like, I don't feel good, and then my mom and dad would go pick her up, and then she'd be like, I actually just missed you guys, and like she hated sleeping over. But I think I was pretty good with sleepovers. The next question is the first thing I did this morning, and the first thing I did this morning, besides like check my phone, brush my teeth, wash my face, that kind of stuff, like, you know, typical stuff, I actually got up and locked my door because I have a sliding glass door in my bedroom, and it opens out to like our patio and then our pool and our hot tub. And this morning the guy was like we have a guy that helps clean at our pool, and so this morning I heard him like really early, it was like 6:50 or something, and I heard this big loud noise because he had like knocked over a chair, and I just like I knew he was cleaning the pool, like I know he comes on that day or whatever, but for some reason like just my instinct was like, oh my gosh, someone's trying to get in my house. So I got up and like locked my door real quickly, went back to sleep. Like, mind you, I was still like half asleep when I did this, and so then but I mean, that was like the first thing I did this morning technically. I feel like that was a really complicated answer for a very simple question, but technically the first thing I actually did this morning, besides like the boring stuff, was frantically lock my door because I was scared and I was half asleep. The next question is first concert I ever went to. I think it was the Fray. I love the Fray. The next question is first broken bone, and it would definitely be when I broke my nose. Even though it wasn't like a horrible break, I guess, it still was broken. I've told this story many times, but I got kicked in the face at cheerleading and my nose broke and I got a big black eye, and yeah, that was not very fun. The next question is first piercing. Of course, my ears, my only piercing. I've been debating on whether or not I should get like another hole on my lobe. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. When I asked like about piercings, so many of you have comments like, I have so many piercings, blah, blah, blah. And I don't really know. Like, I don't think I would really get anything else pierced besides my ears. But I would love to hear about your piercings, because from the comments of my previous video when I talked about piercings, a ton of you have piercings and like to talk about them. So if you'd like to leave me suggestions on what you think I should get pierced or what you have pierced, I would love to hear it. The next question is first country visited, and that would definitely be Mexico. The next question is first movie I remember seeing. Like, in a movie theater, I really have no idea. But I remember the first movie that I was like obsessed with, or it wasn't the first movie, but a movie that I was really obsessed with when I was little was actually the Titanic, which is kind of like, I don't know, not that like kid-friendly of a movie, but I remember I would like beg my parents if they could let me watch that, and we'd watch it on like the VCR. Remember little VCR tapes? Like, they don't even like have those anymore, do they? I don't know. But I remember doing that, and I remember that was like just one of my favorite movies. But my favorite like Disney movie that I remember watching was probably Anastasia. If you guys have seen that, it's such a great movie. The other night, I actually, weirdly, I saw something about it like just online, and I went ahead and went on YouTube and I watched some of like the old scenes of it, like when they're singing, and like the one where like I guess they're ghosts, and they're like dancing in the ballroom, and she's like walking through the snow, and oh my gosh, they're just like such like a nostalgic moment if you go ahead and watch those clips on YouTube. But yeah, probably Anastasia was like the first movie I remember seeing, and it came out in like 97, so I would have been like 2, so that's probably the oldest I can think back. The next question is first detention, and my first detention was actually a Saturday school, and I had to go because I had missed a lot of school days, so I had to go make it up in Saturday school. But I was there for like, you know, making up class time, but there are a lot of kids that were there for like disciplinary needs, and like if you got in trouble you had to go to Saturday school. So I was in the same room with kids that were also in trouble for like starting a food fight or getting in a fight at school, or, you know, cheating or something like that. And my friend Katie was actually with me. She also had to make up some days that she had missed for school. So we were there, and I remember it was in my history teacher's class. This was in, let's see, 8th grade, and it was my history teacher, Mr. Key. He was one of my favorite teachers ever. I've had like probably like 5 amazing teachers, and Miss Patronella, my 1st grade teacher, was one, and Mr. Key, my 8th grade history teacher, was definitely another one. So he was awesome. Like, he was like one of my favorite teachers ever, and we basically just had to sit in silence for like 4 hours or something, and we weren't allowed to talk, but we were allowed to like read and whatever. And after Saturday school, we actually went to a football game, and it was actually at the UC Stadium, and I was going to meet Justin there for the very first time. He was a freshman in high school, and I was in 8th grade, and so my friend Kate and I went, and I was going to meet Justin at this fountain, and I went to one fountain, and he went to another fountain or something, I don't know, and basically we didn't end up meeting up right then. So I thought he ditched me, and I thought like he told me to come, and then he didn't show up. But then I ended up finding him. He ended up like calling me or texting me, and I realized we just went to the wrong place. And then after that we went and hung out with some friends, went to a bonfire, and it was pretty good after that. But yeah, so that was my first detention, and then it kind of turned into like my first like date with Justin too. The next question is first roommate, and I have not had a roommate yet. I'm looking forward to that for college though, and obviously once I get everything settled for college, I'll, you know, introduce you to a roommate that I have, or show you my dorm, or show you an apartment, or, you know, all that kind of stuff once that happens. The next question is first sport you were involved in, and I've never been a very athletic person. And I know people are going to say cheer and dance. I count cheer and dance as like athletics. I mean, I think they're sports, but I never actually played basketball or soccer or softball or anything like that. The first thing I did was dance. I did like ballet and jazz and tap and hip hop, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously I did cheerleading after that. The next question is first thing you do when you get home, and this is going to be, besides like checking Facebook or something like that, this is weird probably, this is going to sound so bizarre, but I go pee, because whenever I'm out, I really don't like I really hate using public restrooms. Like, I don't know, it's just something about me. I'm not like a major like germ person, but like I really don't. Like if I'm out somewhere, even if like I'm out at a restaurant or something and I have to pee, I'll just be like, oh wait till I get home. And then I get home and I'll just go to the bathroom. So that's probably like the first thing I do when I'm like coming home from somewhere. I just go pee, and I don't know. That's kind of probably a really weird, awkward answer for this question, but whatever. Okay, the next question, the last question, is actually first kiss. My first kiss was 7th grade. I've told this story many times, at least I feel like I've told this story many times. Basically, there was a kid that had moved to our school, and so he was new, and he actually moved from England, and he had a beautiful accent, and all the girls were obsessed with him, and naturally, I really liked him, I guess, and he was really, really cute, and he was nice, and again, the accent thing. So I invited him to like my birthday party or something, and I had a Halloween party, and I dressed up as a pirate, and then he showed up dressed up as a pirate also. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is fate, you know, in my little 7th grade mind. So after that, you know, things went well, whatever, and then we kind of like became, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, however serious that can be when you're like 7th grade, like 13. And then we probably waited like, I don't know, like 2 months or something, and then like we had like planned out like our first kiss, and so we went to this football game, and we were hiding behind like these big like I don't even know, like these rock like poles, and so we decided we would like kiss in like this little tunnel that was like kind of hidden from everyone. So like we just, you know, real quickly kissed, and then I turned around and like probably 10 of our friends were standing right there, and they're like all laughing, so they had been watching the whole time. If you can think back to like middle school when it was like a big deal to like watch people like kiss for the first time, that was pretty much what was going on. So it was my first kiss with him, and also like 10 of our friends were watching at the same time. So those are all of the first questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it was a really funny video. A lot of the questions are like just hilarious and made me think back to things that just, you know, were funny moments in my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon. And again, if you would like to view this video as a video response, I would love to see it. Go ahead and send it to me. As always, I'll have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything linked below. I'm not a Twitter person, but I am an Instagram person. So you should definitely follow me on Instagram and I can follow you back. But anyways, again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.